Nothing feels more weird than watching someone try way too hard. It's that secondhand embarrassment that makes your teeth ache. And for the last few years, Meghan Markle has been the global ambassador of cringe. That's why today, we're taking a look at her greatest hits. Think you can make it to the end? The infamous curtsy.
Now I'm starting to realize this is a big deal. I mean, Americans will understand this. We have medieval times, dinner and tournament. It was like that. Like I curtsied as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Was that okay?
Let's begin with the curtsy that nearly broke the internet. In their Netflix docuseries, a platform for setting their own narrative, Meghan chose to reenact her first meeting with Queen Elizabeth II. You'd think a moment like that would be described with a certain reverence. Instead, she launched into a story framing the entire tradition as a joke. Describing her first curtsy, she didn't just bow. She performed a deep, sweeping genuflection, so exaggerated it looked more suited for a Shakespearean stage than a royal drawing room. She giggled through the reenactment, comparing the ancient custom to something an American would only encounter at a medieval times dinner and tournament. While Meghan found her own performance hilarious, Prince Harry looked like he was mentally calculating the quickest escape route from his own multi-million-dollar production. His forced smile was a masterclass in silent suffering. For the public, this wasn't just a quirky anecdote. It felt like a calculated jab at the late Queen and the institution she embodied. The most baffling part was her claim of total ignorance, that she had no idea she would be expected to curtsy to the monarch of the United Kingdom. It's a claim that strains belief, given that the royal family's protocols are some of the most widely documented traditions on Earth. A single Google search would have prepared her. It was a self-inflicted wound that perfectly illustrated the massive gap between her Hollywood sensibilities and the staid world of royalty. Royal protocol. This spectacular lack of preparation became a recurring theme, especially during her very first solo engagement with the Queen. Being invited for a solo outing was a massive vote of confidence, a clear sign of acceptance. Yet, the day was pockmarked with moments that made royal watchers' jaws drop. At one point, as the Queen sat quietly taking in the scene, Meghan leaned in, attempting to start a casual conversation. The Queen, a woman who had perfected the art of polite dismissal over a 70-year reign, offered a brief glance and nothing more. Meghan's words just evaporated into the air, leaving her with a frozen, awkward smile for the cameras. The day's cringeworthy finale came as they prepared to leave. Royal protocol is not a set of gentle suggestions, it's rigid, and rule number 1 is that you never get into a car before the monarch. As they approached the vehicle, an overeager Meghan moved to enter first. A royal aide had to physically intervene, subtly gesturing for her to stand back and wait. As if that wasn't awkward enough, Meghan then leaned in again, seemingly trying to join a conversation the Queen was having with an official. Finally, the Queen, with the patience of a saint, simply gestured for Meghan to go ahead and get in. It was a moment of supreme public awkwardness, a textbook example of someone completely out of their depth. The art of being noticed. This apparent need to be the focal point of every interaction evolved from a tendency into a signature move. Take the Commonwealth Day service, an event demanding coordinated and respectful attire. Meghan arrived in a shade of green so electrically vibrant it could have been seen from space. The outfit didn't just say, "Look at me," it commandeered every eyeball in Westminster Abbey. But the fashion statement was merely a prelude. In a truly baffling moment, she was seen physically maneuvering past Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, and Prince Edward, to ensure she was positioned directly in the camera's line of sight. It wasn't a graceful glide. It was a clear and determined push to the front. This pattern of physically repositioning herself for maximum visibility became a bizarre motif. After a charity polo match, as Harry's team gathered for a victory photo, Meghan attempted to insert herself directly into the center. She reached for the trophy box held by another player, leading to a clumsy tug-of-war before she awkwardly ducked under Harry's arm to secure her spot. Time and time again, she has been filmed literally pulling Harry by the hand, dragging him a few steps ahead so she can slip past other royals and plant herself in the prime position for photographers. Instead of projecting confidence, these moments paint a picture of deep-seated insecurity, a frantic fear of being momentarily overlooked. When charity becomes a photo op, even events designed around altruism have been tinged with a strange air of self-promotion. In 2021, Meghan visited a school in Harlem, a community facing significant economic challenges, to read from her children's book. a wonderful gesture on its face. However, she arrived dressed in a designer outfit worth thousands of dollars, accessorized with a small fortune in jewelry. The visual disconnect was staggering, an ostentatious display of immense wealth while visiting a school full of underprivileged children. The intended message of empathy was completely lost in the spectacle of her wardrobe. The situation became even more tone-deaf when reports surfaced that her team had given the school a list of demands, including a new carpet and specific cushions for the children to sit on. The entire event felt less like a genuine outreach and more like a meticulously staged and deeply ironic performance for the cameras. This inability to read the room reared its head before, most notably during a royal tour of South Africa. In an interview conducted in a country grappling with extreme poverty, she tearfully confessed how difficult her life had become, lamenting that not many people have asked if I'm okay. While her feelings were her own, the timing and location for such a complaint struck millions as profoundly out of touch. The courtside snub. If her royal missteps were awkward, her attempts to integrate into the celebrity world have been just as clumsy. Take her appearance at a Serena Williams tennis match. Meghan showed up to cheer on her supposed best friend, but according to Serena's fans and even her coach, Meghan's presence was considered a jinx, and Serena ended up losing the match. But the real secondhand embarrassment came from the stands. Meghan was caught on camera trying desperately to cozy up to Serena's mom, leaning in for a chat to prove her connection to the family. The response? Absolutely nothing. Serena's mother completely ignored her, leaving Meghan to stare blankly ahead, visibly embarrassed as the cameras rolled. It was a brutal, public snub that was hard to watch. The talk show train wreck. Nothing exemplifies how cringeworthy Meghan can be more than her appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show. For a prank segment, the Duchess of Sussex agreed to be fed instructions through a hidden earpiece. What followed was a cringe comedy masterpiece. In public, she performed bizarre acts on command, squatting down, meowing like a cat, and drinking milk from a baby bottle while chanting the deeply unsettling phrase, "Mommy wants some heat." It was a spectacle so jarring, it defied logic. This was a woman who had spoken at length about the pressures and dignity of royal life, now debasing herself for cheap laughs on daytime television. It was a complete and total annihilation of any royal mystique she had left. While she is, of course, free to do whatever she wants, the performance demonstrated a shocking lack of self-awareness. It wasn't just silly or goofy, it was a five-alarm fire of secondhand embarrassment that left viewers speechless. A speech about herself.
Very nice to be back in the UK. And it is very nice to be back with all of you at One Young World. As you'll likely hear many times,
Perhaps no single event encapsulates the critique of Meghan's self-centeredness better than her keynote speech at the One Young World Summit. She was given a global stage to inspire the next generation of leaders and activists. It was a golden opportunity to highlight important causes and celebrate the young people in the audience who were making a difference. Instead, she used her 7 minutes to deliver an ode to herself. In that brief speech, she managed to reference herself over 50 times. It wasn't an inspirational address, it was a meandering monologue about her own career, her own feelings of imposter syndrome, and her own journey. Rather than focusing on the delegates she was there to honor, she told rambling anecdotes about her time as an actress. At one point, she recalled keeping the little paper name card from a previous summit as proof that I belonged, a bizarre attempt at relatability that came across as both insecure and narcissistic. The thousands of young leaders in the room were effectively reduced to a live studio audience for her one-woman show. It was a spectacular failure to understand the assignment. A series of unfortunate comparisons. Beyond physical awkwardness, some of the most baffling moments have come directly from Meghan's own words in major interviews. The claims she has made have often been so grandiose and easily contradicted that they've left the public utterly bewildered. In an interview with The Cut, she recounted a story from the London premiere of The Lion King. She claimed a South African cast member told her that when she married into the royal family, people in his country had rejoiced in the streets, the same we did when Mandela was freed from prison. The comparison, equating her royal wedding with the triumphant release of a political prisoner who dismantled apartheid, was so staggeringly self-important that it triggered an immediate and ferocious global backlash.
We had in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
This was part of a pattern, During the bombshell Oprah interview, she strongly suggested that her son Archie was denied a royal title due to racist concerns within the family about his skin color. It was an explosive and damaging accusation. However, royal historians and protocol experts quickly clarified that under the 1917 letters patent, a decree issued by King George V, the titles of Prince and Princess are automatically given only to the children and direct-line grandchildren of the reigning monarch. As a great-grandchild, Archie was simply not entitled to the title at that time. The claim, presented as evidence of systemic bias, appeared to fall apart under basic factual scrutiny, creating yet another controversy built on a shaky foundation. And there you have it, a royal journey paved with good intentions and face-palmingly awkward moments. Whether it's a case of cultural misunderstanding or a masterclass in making it all about her, one thing is certain: you'll need a cushion to hide behind. So, which moment made you want to leave the planet? Let me know in the comments.